How's it, cuz? It's time to Walaau with me, Mr. Walaau, Dickie Chang. Join us as we meet your uncles, your aunties, your brothers, your sisters, uncles, cousins, neighbors, grandmother, all the ohana. We'll take you to breathtaking places you've never been. Meet famous people you've never seen. Kick back and cruise, you know the rules.
The day has to end. I'm so happy we made new friends. We'll meet tomorrow, same time, same place. Looking forward to see your smiling face. Walaau, the day has to end. I'm so happy we made new friends. We'll meet tomorrow, same time, same place. Looking forward to see your smiling face. Walaau, 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 Walaau. Walaau, Walaau.
Hey, welcome back, Kauai. As all of you folks know, over the Labor Day weekend, we celebrated our 5th annual Kauai Marathon signature event here on our Garden Island of Kauai. To recap this wonderful event, let's chat with the founder of our Kauai Marathon, Mr. Jeff Dickie.
Well, we just completed our 5th year in September, as you know, and we had great support from the island, and we're really looking to grow this event. After 5 years, we've learned some things as far as, some mistakes we've made and some opportunities, to improve upon. And we look forward very much to putting on year 6. We're hoping to grow it to about 2,300.
Interestingly, you might say some mistakes that you learned upon, and obviously mistakes are good because that's the only way you're going to learn. But please keep in mind, when you mentioned the 5th annual marathon, I mean, when you started the marathon, this nation, this world, and this island, and this state was not in the greatest shape as far as economy was concerned.
We didn't have a very good economy, yeah. And in hindsight, starting it in 2009 probably wasn't the smartest thing in the world. But the event was founded really to bring people together. It was founded because I love health, I love running, but I also like the charity aspect. And the spirit of this race has always been centered around the charitable aspect of raising money and putting back the money in the community here on Kauai.
Interestingly, you mentioned the 5th annual marathon. You mentioned that 2009 may not have been obviously the best year to start such a marathon, but I think equally, not necessarily surprising, but to me a heartwarming feeling is the fact that there are many people from the mainland, from Canada, from Japan, from various countries, particularly Hawaiian residents and Kauai residents, that actually ran all 5 years.
Oh, that's exactly right. We had 62, I believe, that were 5-peaters that have come and run either the half or the full, and that's pretty impressive when you have somebody doing something, 5 times in a row. That's pretty darn good. But we're extraordinarily pleased with the support in year 5 that we got, with the locals. That not only the locals participating, the locals that were involved from, coming out and volunteering, whether they were out cheering as a big crowd supporters, or coming just to be involved to see the event for the first time. We had, I think, out on course, and I was out there a lot this year in particular, we had huge support this year. It was a wonderful thing for the community. I want to thank the community for the support over the last 5 years of this event. It's been a lot of fun for me to see our vision creatively. This has never been my wife and I's event. This event has always been about and for the people of Kauai. And it's nice to see that, one, they've enthusiastically embraced this event, but secondly, they're participating in this event, and that's really what I wanted. I didn't want people to have to go jump on airplanes to run in a world-class event, and we have created a world-class event, and it's nice for people to see and recognize that.
With that being said, I just do want to take this opportunity, as you know, equally important. This year there was a lot of buy-in, there was a lot of great local sponsorship, there was a lot of local awareness, and it's very, very important because when we get local sponsorships, that means sponsors and business and community is really behind this 110%.
The only way an event like this works is you come up with an idea, that we did, but to continue this event into perpetuity, as I like to say with my wife and I, we created this event to outlive us, to be a legacy here for the island of Kauai and for the people. But it can't work without local sponsorships. It can't work without the community. It can't work without the business support. It can't work without, in-kind donations and, the support not only from the county, but support from all the agencies. But most importantly, it has to come from private enterprise.
The host resort of this year's event was the beautiful Grand Hyatt Kauai. I can remember just like it was yesterday, that wonderful evening that the Chamber of Commerce and the Chamber of Commerce members and the communities came.
Yes.
We were blessed to have with our Hawaii Tourism Authority head honcho, Mike McCarthy, if you will. We had our president, of course, Randy Francisco of our Chamber of Commerce. But it brought the business community into the fact that, you know, economically speaking, tourism is a driving industry, but it brought a lot of our leaders to realize truly how important it is it, because this is our only nationally televised signature event for this island, Kauai.
Absolutely. The economic impact has just been a byproduct of all the other things that, you know, the ancillary part of it, which is really a very large thing. But from a, you know, from a financial standpoint, you know, we've contributed over $12 million to the economy over the last 5 years here, and I'm very proud of that fact.
Aloha, I'm Jen Boniza. Welcome to a special edition of Hawaiian Extreme Sports TV. Today's show is all about one of the most scenic marathons in the world. Of course, we're talking about the Kauai Marathon. This unique full and half course marathon takes elite and fun-loving runners from all over the world around what many describe as the most beautiful run events on Earth. At this multi-day event, over 1,700 runners signed up for the main race day in the 26-mile-long course and the 13-mile half-course divisions. And the South Shore of Kauai was transformed into a runner's paradise.
The Kauai Marathon for 2013 commences September 1st at 6 a.m. on the island of Kauai. We have a full marathon, we have a half marathon. They both start together and they both finish together, which is very unusual. The full marathon, we have about 400 participants this year, and in the half marathon we have about 1,300 participants this year. We finish at the Sheraton Kauai on the beach there, and it turns into a big party. We also do, for the starting line, a full breakfast with fruit and pastries, danishes, orange juice. It's just an incredible vibe and an incredible event.
The Kauai Marathon takes place, starts off real early in the morning, 6 a.m. near the Poipui shopping village. Heads east towards Bypass Road, and they head towards the tunnel of trees, make their way up 5 miles, 6 miles, 7, and they work their way to the highway. They head west on the highway and then down Omau Road, kind of a sweeping turns up and down, and oftentimes one of the little drizzle will fall on top of the runners. They love that part. Off of Omau Road, the full marathoners head towards Lauai Cannery, and that's on Kaloa Road. They'll run about 2 miles on Kaloa Road, and then they start working the hills up to Kalaheo, around the golf course. And one of the more beautiful parts of the course is Pu'u Road, where the runners will often find themselves kind of quiet and alone and see these huge views of the ocean, but also of the island of Niihau and the coffee fields on their left-hand side. And then they start to work their way back, and it's kind of an out and back from that point. And then they start to see the ocean, and that's their finish line. They finish near the Sheraton, right along the ocean front. It's a beautiful finish line.
Welcome back, Kauai. Interestingly speaking, if you just joined us, we are, of course, recapping our 5th annual Kauai Marathon. Most of you folks know sometimes when you do golf tournaments, people sponsor golf holes. But in this case, we sponsored mile markers at our Kauai Marathon. Here to tell us how the money was given back into the community is, of course, again, our founder, Mr. Jeff Zucchini of the 5th annual Kauai Marathon.
I thought it was absolutely fabulous. It came like a lot of things do when I'm running, and I thought it was a great idea. I thought, one, it was a good way to bring community support to the event, and two, it was a great way to do what we wanted to do from the start, and that's to give back and to support charities. So we just finished this morning writing 5 relatively large checks. We supported the YMCA and their pool effort. We supported KPAL, the Kauai Police Activities League, and all the things that they do for the youth on island. We supported Life's Bridges, which does a lot of things, in traumatic times here on island. We support, of course, the Kauai Museum and everything that they're doing. And I got to tell you, if you haven't been to that museum, it blew my mind over the last year walking in there and seeing the artifacts, some of the things that, from a historical perspective, unbelievable. I'm a huge supporter of the Kauai Museum. Also, we supported the lifeguards, everything happening here and the support and the awareness of water safety. We also supported Kauai Hospice and all the things that they do for end-of-life care. I couldn't say enough great about the hospice organization.
And again, I just do want to thank you not only for thinking about the idea, but giving back your own resources and your own monies itself. But I think it was a very, very pleasant surprise because a lot of not-for-profits don't expect someone to be aware of their plight. But I just do want to share this, if I may. Your wife, Liz, and yourself are actually part-time residents of the island of Kauai. And I really want to thank you for being aware of the challenges that every not-for-profit goes through in these tough economic times.
Absolutely. I mean, funding, everybody needs funding today, and that's why I'm happy to be able to create a forum and a mechanism to be able to raise continuously, year after year, funding for charities that so desperately need money. But you're absolutely right, Dickie. It's hard to keep a lot of these organizations that rely on $25 and $30 contributions because it's real expensive. I learned today, for example, being in the YMCA pool. He took me back and showed me everything that they do to keep the clarity of that water perfect so that, one, they have safe water, but two, it's clear water so people can come and swim and do all their, the activities. It's very expensive.
And as far as the swimming team, Swim Kauai Aquatics, since the pools opened and they began swimming here, that's when all the records have broken. All the records on Kauai and all the swim records. It's because you need a facility. You have to have the venue to be able to produce quality athletes. And it's the same thing. You need to be able to maintain the venue to be able to teach kids to swim and to maintain that water safety for the island. It starts with a place like this, and then it's the people after that.
Well, first of all, it was a very pleasant surprise, and we are so grateful that the Kauai Marathon is really not just bringing people together for a wonderful event, but giving back to the community. And we're humbled and we're grateful that they thought of Life's Bridges and appreciate the work that we do. So yes, we're very grateful.
Gino, when we do this, honestly and sincerely, I just want to take this opportunity to share our aloha out to, Robin Jumper, Bob Craver, of course, our founder of the marathon, who's a part-time Kauai resident, Jeff Zucchini, because being that he does spend so much time on and off the island, I just want to say aloha because he's obviously aware of, everybody in need. However, those that really step forward with not much of a fanfare.
I totally agree. I mean, it's just so wonderful that these people come together. And as I said, they're giving back to something to the community, not just for our runners and people that love marathon and really putting Kauai on the map, but they're recognizing the efforts of all of the community agencies that benefited. And so it's a win-win situation. So we're grateful and we're humbled, and we're really grateful to all of those folks that put this together and give back to us.
Well, we're very appreciative of the people that made it happen. And I'll be honest with you, with donations comes a very great sense of responsibility on my part to make you proud that you donated to us, to make the marathon proud that they donated us, and therefore for us to do a really good job with it. So we're really happy about it. We have ways we already know how we're going to spend it, and this allows us to keep improving our programs.
Well, I can't tell you how thrilled we are and how much we all need the money, all nonprofits on Kauai. And with the museum, we're trying to do so much to pep up the place and make the displays and our exhibits more meaningful, and certainly move our Hawaiian collection up front to the main building. And this will certainly help for that. I thank Jeff and the Kauai Marathon for being so generous to the community. It's really meaningful to everyone.
The museum recently has had its plights simply because of the fact, unfortunately, there's a lot of construction and road work going on, so it had to equally be difficult for visitors to not just find parking, but to take and have patience of trying to get to be able to park and visit the museum.
Yes, we've lost a lot of admission money because people get disgusted. They drive around, they can't find a parking place, and you're right, the place all around there is being redesigned, and there is no parking, and so the county is trying to work with us. Nevertheless, it's very difficult to find because the signage is poor. So this will really help us, tide us over this month. So we really thank Jeff and the Kauai Marathon.
Well, it's a very pleasant surprise, totally unexpected. Anytime you get money to help with our programs, it's a tremendous blessing. I know our administration always supports the Kauai Marathon, by its security and traffic control. But to receive funding for our nonprofit version with the KPEL, the Kauai Police Activities League, is just an exciting surprise and a blessing.
Dickie, this is an amazing surprise. We had no idea, and we're feeling so grateful over at Kauai Hospice for the gratitude of this financial contribution from the marathon, and we're just feeling very surprised and happy and grateful, and thank you. It's what it's about. It's community, and it's about people helping people, supporting each other, and we're grateful at Hospice because this money that has come in will help us provide these vital end-of-life services and care for people who want to stay at home at the end of their lives, be surrounded by the people that they love, and as well as once they have died, so their family can have the support for bereavement and grief support. And so when we have surprises like this that come out of sort of the clear blue sky, where it's a validation of community support saying, you know what, we're thinking about you, and not just you, but our sister and brother agencies, other nonprofits that are sharing in this unexpected blessing.
Yeah, I've been very fortunate to run races literally all over the world, from the Arctic Circle to Antarctica to Mount Everest Base Camp. I mean, I could go on, but one of my favorite running experiences every year is to come to the Kauai Marathon, half marathon.
You get over to the South Shore and all of a sudden your whole mindset changes. It's like stress just leaves your body and you just feel energized. You just feel like you want to run.
You're running in one of the most beautiful islands in the world, and you're going to get the best food, the best treatment, and we like to think we define this race with the true aloha spirit.
Has 40 of the U.S. states represented and 13 countries that are represented. This shows how, one, the Garden Isle is a beautiful island, so people are going to come here as a tourist destination, and tying the race in is great. But the race itself, there's a great vibe about how much fun it is. The people who put on the race are great.
A lot of the people that I've spoken to here, they're on vacation, they've come from a long way. I came from New York City. I've met some people who've come from, all over the world, the West Coast, and some people here on the island who are doing it. And I think everyone is just excited. It's definitely a fun time vibe.
The people on the course and the aloha spirit just really shines through, and the support. And I really, really enjoyed the journey of the whole marathon. It was beautiful, and definitely one of my top marathon picks for all of the marathons that I've ever done.
Our 6th annual Kauai Marathon will be held this year, August 31st. It's always the Sunday preceding Labor Day. So we're out. We're going to incorporate the keiki run again, which we incorporated the inaugural keiki run last year, which I thought went extraordinarily well. We had 162 keiki show up and actually participate. We're looking to build that to 300 for this year. We're going to keep some of the same things we had last year, the VIP parties, all the different half marathon, marathon, same venue, same everything. We're just hoping to continuously have people come out and cheer. And if you're not doing anything Labor Day, we'd sure love to have you come down and cheer, volunteer, or frankly participate, as you have in the past.
At the end of last year, the race staff asked me to help organize the Keiki Run, and I took it a step further and asked my shoe company, Newton Running, if they'd be interested in donating some shoes to the kids on the island. And they got behind it, the Kauai Marathon got behind it. Over 170 kids out there running. And it was a very special moment for all those kids. Everyone got a t-shirt and a medal, and just the purity of the sport of kids running hard and having fun.
Fun Run was meant to be something like the Keiki Run in that it's open to the public. It's something anyone from Kauai can do. So if you're not ready for a half marathon, then you can come out to the Fun Run, which is always Saturday, the day before the event. Run with Bart, run with Dean, and enjoy just a nice, easy 3-mile pre-race run.
In my understanding, this production is actually being aired and has been aired throughout Hawaii, and it's going to be breaking nationally.
It's all over the mainland. I think we have 144 million. Robin Jumper could confirm the numbers, but I think we're in 144 million households. It's on Universal, NBC Universal.
Well, I just want to take this opportunity. I know that there's a lot of people that you want to thank. There's so much relationships along the South Shore, business people, the Kauai Police Department. I mean, so many people, the Wilcox Health. I mean, so many people contribute, and I'm glad that people really, really are aware of what a wonderful opportunity and what a wonderful signature event that we can all help to perpetuate to make it healthy and viable to continue on.
Thank you, and I'd like to just again thank everybody from the island of Kauai. It was never set up to be a South Shore event. This event was always set up to be an island-wide event, and it's taken us 5 years of some trials and tribulations, but I think we're finally getting to the point where we're perfecting it. We're bringing the island together. We're getting the business people involved in the community. I want to thank those businesses that support. I'd also like to encourage some of the businesses on island that haven't supported for whatever reason to consider getting a hold of us and asking us how you can contribute, for 2014 and beyond.
I'm glad that you mentioned the entire island of Kauai, and I'm going to tell you why. I got friends and businesses on the west side and obviously along the eastern corridor and the North Shore, because when these visitors, prior to running and after the race, they and their families are still hanging around exploring the island of Kauai. So no matter what it is, it's not just geographically tied into the South Shore. West Siders, Eastern Corridor, and of course our friends of the North Shore, everybody sees marathon runners because they're wearing hats, they're wearing shirts, they got memorabilia, and the logo attire. And logo attire is seen, as our dear friend Bob Craver will tell you, pretty much all throughout the country.
That is exactly right. The average length of stay for folks that come and run, they generally bring 3 people with them, and the average stay is 5.2 days. So we're getting that ancillary benefit across the island, which is something I had hoped and envisioned would happen, and it has come to fruition.
The last 2 miles of the race, coming off of Kaloa Road, you can start to see the ocean, and you know that you're getting closer and closer. And you get down to this volcanic rock wall, and you've got a 1/4 mile to go.
You got the waves crashing, you got the turtles, and you got the finish line right there.
Everybody has a reason and a cause for running, and what amazes me is, people come up to me at the finish line crying emotionally that they lost 400 pounds, or they're running for their mom who has cancer. I mean, there's always events that take place this weekend that have me in tears a lot of times.
I'm running in memory of my brother Ricky Bates, who passed away in January. He was born with a disease called AT, and he passed away due to stomach cancer.
I ran 52 marathons in 52 weeks in honor of my father who passed away from pancreatic cancer. And I ran these marathons to raise funds and awareness for research so we could find a cure for this devastating disease.